Can you actually imagine what life was like in London that Iris has described, and or what it was like when I was a lad at school?
Well, when Iris was there, I guess it was kind of like, I don't know, it was a bit like all worrying
Yeah.
because of the bombers and everything.
Well, when I was seven, and I was at school in Birmingham. We were bombed a bit, but I went to school. But I was never afraid. We had sort of what they called ARP wagons in the playground and military stuff all around and barrage balloons. But we weren't frightened. I had a good war. Do you think you'd have enjoyed the war?
Kind of.
Do you think you'd have worried?
Well, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. You worry about today's wars, you know. But can you imagine what it was like at 17 to be told you're going in the army, whatever you did? And can you imagine you'd got to give up life, go from home and into fighting people? Do you think about that at all?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. How do you think you'd cope with the sweet rationing and the amount of food? We didn't know we would. Well, we weren't deprived, but we didn't know we were missing out because we'd never known it plenty. Do you think you would have adjusted okay?
Um, Maybe, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, discipline was more rigid with your parents and schools. That it's more relaxed now, and we jumped when mum and dad told us, and how high on the way up, as they say. But you I mean, you would have adapted anyway, wouldn't you? I should imagine.
You just have to. I think you just have to deal with it and
Yeah.
not stop complaining about it. I think
Yeah.
you just have to understand the situation that you're in, and you just have to adapt to it.
Yeah. So what do you think would be, if you were looking back to that, what would you think would be your most important thoughts about what it was like when we were your age?
I think the most important thoughts is to think that you need to think of the future, to think ahead, and you can't just be like thinking to yourself that this is a difficult situation. You just need to think ahead, and hopefully everything goes according to plan.
Because all this couldn't be imagined, all this electronics, it's come on so fast, and we were just sums and English, and sums. I mean, I was lost on algebra anyway, but so it's so different for you with all the educational age. You can do so much younger. I can't do a computer, and I'm 76, but my grandchildren can sort my problems out if I need them, which I presume you get called on by your parents to do, don't you? Can you sort this out? You want to say anything?
Mind you, John, there was the other side to being a child if you lived in London, because you were evacuated. And that was done overnight, 2 days before the war actually started. My school closed down just like that. The war was coming, and we were sent home with a letter saying that we must be ready with our gas masks. Every time you went out, you had to wear your gas mask. Even John, when he was 2 or 3 years old, had a gas mask. And you had to be ready with your clothes, go to school by 8 o'clock, and then you were marched along to the railway station, which was Maze Hill in Greenwich, and off they went into the country, away from London, because everybody thought that when the war started, we would be bombed the next day, which of course we weren't. But those children went away. Now the incredible thing was that my school sent the children to a place called Hastings, which is on the coast. So it's on the coast. And France, of course, was 25 miles away across the water. I wasn't evacuated because obviously the parents had a choice. And my parents did not want me to go, which I was very upset about because I thought it was an adventure. They were going to the seaside, and I went through a very lonely period. I was 13 and a half years old, and there was no one in the street to play with. There was no one in the town to be with, and there wasn't a single school opened. So the children were affected by the war just as much as their mother and father.
So, you asked me about my dream. What's your dream for your future, Jodie, first of all?
Just first of all to just do well in school and get the results that I want in the subjects that I enjoy, and then hopefully go to university and become quite successful in the field that I choose. And from there I don't really know because...
No, it's early days, isn't it, to be thinking beyond university really, but that's great. And what about you, Tamara?
I really just want to like finish school and then like travel and then see the world and then, but I want to go to university as well, and before I do that I just want to see the world, experience things that I couldn't see when I was this young.
Can you tell me something about your home life? Would you like to do that, Jodie?
Me and I have two sisters, a brother and a mum. My dad died a couple of years ago, and I recently have a nephew. My brother's quite a lot older than me, and him and his girlfriend have just settled down, and he's lovely. So we're all quite close.
Yeah. And Tamara?
Yeah, I just have two brothers and my mum and my dad, and we basically just get along most of the time. But
That was a very, very sensible answer, that was.
but when you have siblings, it's like you can't live with them, you can't live without them.
No.
Can I ask Max what your favourite subject is at school?
Well, I have many, but my favourite subject would be sport because I quite like keeping fit and the way that you can just set free and just do what you want with anything that you can find.
Are you in the school team for anything?
I'm in the school football team, the school cricket team, and I play for a football team outside of school as well.
Well done. And any other favourite things you have at school?
Well, maths I quite enjoy because I'm quite good at it, but also art because I'm good at it and
You enjoy your teacher?
yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's good. What about Evan?
Sports again, because I'm passionate about it, and I like just being out there on a rugby pitch. And
Rugby is your favourite,
yeah,
is it?
it's the
Yeah.
best. Yeah, and athletics, and then
Yes.
most of the teams, I think.
Have you been watching the Saints? Do you follow them?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I go to every game.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Yes.
once a final.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
And anything else at school?
I like art because I have the best teacher in the world,
There we are. Flutterer.
and that's probably it. Yeah.
Yes. And what are your ambitions
Just what for later life.
for later life?
Just become a professional rugby player, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you'll be good enough for that?
Hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And if that fails, anything else?
I don't really know.
No.
No.
You want to pursue that first?
Yeah.
What about Max?
Well, football comes first on my list out of I think 4 or 5. When architect is second, then an artist, then someone in the forces.
You don't want to be an accountant as you enjoy maths?
No, my mum's an accountant.
Oh, is she?
She doesn't really like the job, so I prefer not to.
You prefer not to? Yes. So you've got 1 or 2 ambitions that you're striving
Yeah.
for then? Yes. That's good.